In the realm of absolute darkness, Twilight's eyes envisioned a pony-like figure, barely outlined by a single thin white line. "Help me!" The voice spoke in a soft and effeminate whisper. "You must help me set her free." "Who are you?" "You must help me. She is in pain. If this all continues, she will destroy everything that you hold dear. Tell me who you are." The figure came forward, and Twilight, an impossible form of impossible proportions. It took up everything and yet nothing. Its equine form became awake, and it craned its neck so that it dropped curved around the frightened unicorn. "I am the everlasting darkness." The sharp bump on the road woke the unicorn. She rode side by side in the back seat of a wheeled automobile, whose ride was obviously not as elegant as the hover truck she found at the bottom of the chasm. It had been a bad smell, as if Diamond Dog spilled his dish on the seat and slept here. Even the bird-stubbled taxi driver had a bad smell, coupled with a surly attitude. Clearly, he was not a conversational pony. Twilight tried to remember her dream, but all she could think about was the hour before. She heard that pony, a mare no less, being beaten badly due to her obvious crime of pirate broadcast. Yet despite the apparent injustice between genders, the crazed blue mare continued to proclaim her devotion to an unknown pony goddess. Then there was something about the prophecy coming true. What other secrets did Gaia carry? Was Applejack withholding information? She wanted to speak with Applejack about the mad mare and the pirate television broadcast, but the Orange Earth pony had been somberly silent throughout the whole ride. The highway they rode over was not just bumpy, but visually unappealing. Even from the window could Twilight see that the road had seen much better days. Cracks appeared all over the asphalt, and wilted weeds jutted from the road's surface. From her initial impression of her first time breaching the surface, she shouldn't be surprised anymore. The journey had taken them far from the Ponyville slums and into a desolate wasteland of dead trees and dusty soil. The surly taxi driver didn't seem all that pleased to have driven his passengers all the way to this dump, and not even the generous tip Applejack offered lifted his spirits. He immediately sped off once Applejack and Twilight had gotten off. Before them, barbed wire fences extended for miles. Signs were posted ever so often to warn that trespassers would be dealt with deadly force, but it did not faze Applejack in any way. Carefully, Applejack wriggled her way through an opening, carefully not to snag her mane, tail, head, or her coat against the barbs. She slipped through it so easily, whereas Twilight with her dark cloak took twice as long. "Are you sure it's okay to come here?" Twilight asked. "The government ain't like wasting bits watching this place, but keep your guard up. There might be drones and spies watching our every move, so try and not to use your magic other than the one you're using now." "Okay. And make sure you don't stray off the path. There are buried landmines all over." "Applejack?" "Yes?" "That mare back at the station. She's one of the darn cultists who worshipped Twilight the first unicorn. I gotta thank them for providing a big distraction from the government while I work my revolution throughout the land. But she broadcasted an image of my destiny glyph." "It's just a coincidence, Twi. I knew a few ponies who share the same nature's call, and there might be many more since they outlaw showing your flanks. I bet your beast that you might have a distant Earth cousin roaming around Gaia. As a cultist. Hopefully not as a cultist." As they walked down the path, Twilight saw nothing but scorched ruins. Wood fences that were once painted became brittle and collapsed at various parts. Craters dotted the land, and where farms would be standing, there was hardly anything that remained except for ash. Applejack trotted up to the plot of land that had the most amount of ashes. From her saddlebags, she procured 3 daisies that she placed on the ground, took off her hat, and lowered her head. "Twi, what kind of religion do they have at Unicornia?" "We worship the celestial gods." "Why do you ask?" "I pray to them, 'cause in Gaia there is no religion except the religion of the state. that their propaganda row is just another one of Posey and her cronies' sermons, but it's built upon piles and piles of lies. It's all gonna crash down sooner or later, but at least with your gods, that their propaganda hour is just another one of Posey and her cronies' sermons, but it's built upon piles and piles of lies. It's all gonna crash down sooner or later, but at least with your gods, you won't get punished for stepping out of the line. So are those flowers for my family? Granny Smith, my brother Big Mac, and my little sister Apple Bloom. They all died here that day when Posey burned down my farm. I'm sorry. Are your parents still alive? My pa was lynched when he went to Ponyville to buy some medicine for Ma. Ma died out of a terrible heartbreak after that, but she managed to give birth to Apple Bloom that day. Don't you have any other relatives? Close friends? They're all gone, Twy. I'm all alone now, but I'm not gonna roll over and let Posey have her way. I'll do everything that I can to get my revenge and topple the government, even if I have to give up my life to do so. And that is why I need to get the 6 elements of creation to bring them all back. Applejack, I don't think the elements work that way. Oh? What does your ma say about it? It is a source of untold power, capable of giving the power of the gods to any pony, whether for good or for evil. That is why there are 6 of them, so it will make gathering them difficult. You don't know what I've been through, Twy. I lost everything. You still have your mother and your village, but my brother and father are still out here. If you lost them, what would you do, Twy? I don't know. Exactly. And I'd reckon we should share the same thoughts of revenge. Sorry, Twy, but this is something I have to do as the last of the apples, or I'll die trying. Suddenly, Applejack noticed a red beam of light sliding up her leg. Twy, skedaddle! Huh? Applejack jumped, before any sniper bullet struck any part of her or her friend's body. Figured they sent snipers, Applejack grunted. Twy, we gotta head over to those trees. What about landmines? I can teleport us to... Don't use your magic. Trust me on this one and follow my lead. Ready? Go! Bouncing up and down, Applejack avoided both sniper bullets and landmines, and Twilight did the same. How fortunate that nothing happened when they arrived in a clearing and found constructed on a large tree a rundown clubhouse. Seeing that structure drew a smile across the orange pony's face, and her bouncing became livelier the closer she and Twilight approached it. The bottom ramp ladder had been destroyed years ago, but for adult mares there was no need. Applejack helped Twilight up the upper ramps and straight into the clubhouse, littered with discarded cans and bottles, obvious evidence that a pony or 2 had squatted here previously. Are we safe? Twilight asked. Depends on persistence these snipers are. I bet they're gonna wait up till we pop our heads out. I can't believe my clubhouse is still standing after all these years. I used to run here whenever the fillies picked on me. And on the day my ma and pa died, I really wanted to fix this up so that Apple Bloom could use this for herself and her friends. Please don't say you're going to die for revenge. What's that? And you're not alone as well. You have me. Whoa there, what? When I meant that you're a friend to me, I meant that you're a friend, and a partner in crime, if you will. The apples used to have a lot of family across Gaia, and they're all gone. I'm not saying this because half my soul is inside your element of truth. I'm saying that hearing you say all those things made me feel sad. We really only just met sugar cubes. Besides, anyone close to me gets killed, and I can't let you get killed because of my silly little mission. If I die, you can take the element of truth, and your soul will be whole again. I already lost one best friend, and I'm not going to lose another one. The 2 mares sat against the splintering walls to listen to the deathly silent air. Several minutes had passed, and then it became an hour. Each of them barely kept themselves awake throughout the entire time. Applejack, shh, they might have sent someone on hoof to get us. I have to go to the bathroom. There were a couple of bottles and large open food cans across from them, and sunlight from the windows illuminated the center floor. "Number 1 or number 2? Asked Applejack. "Both." "For Pete's sake, alright, do number 1 in the bottle and number 2 in the can. Be very quiet, I need to listen for our assassin out there. And don't use your magic." "I don't need magic to go to the bathroom." "Geez, I just assumed. Oh, just hurry up and go." Twilight crawled on her stomach towards the poor excuse of a bathroom, but arriving there was half the struggle. She had to decide which to use first, the can or the bottle, and which would produce the least amount of noise. "Hey, do you smell something?" Applejack asked. "I haven't even started," hissed Twilight. "They're setting this tree on fire." The bathroom had to be delayed. Twilight quaked in her hooves to hold herself together as smoke began seeping through the door, windowsill, and every crack and gap on the floor. Both mares gave up breathing deeply and began coughing. Both kept low to the floor, but with heat of the fire rising, both felt the urge to leap out. "What do we do?" Twilight asked. "Surrounded by mines, and there's a sniper and a partner waiting to ambush us." "I may be able to." I said, "Don't use your magic." "Here's what we're gonna do instead. On a count of 3, we're gonna jump out their back window and climb up to the crow's nest so we can leap on over to the next tree. Ready? 3. From a running start, Applejack leapt through the already shattered back window, sparing Twilight from any cuts from the glass shards. The two avoided a few sniper bullets before climbing up to the tiny room that was the crow's nest, barely large enough to fit 2 mares. By then, fires had surrounded the base of the treehouse and smoke engulfed the actual house. With no time to spare, both Applejack and Twilight simultaneously leapt for their lives to the next tree. Suddenly, a shadow leaped up after them from behind. Initially, the target was Applejack, but her right hind leg kicked away the unknown assailant, who then pulled Twilight down to the base of the next tree with her teeth. The assailant forced the unicorn to stand on her hind legs with a machete poised to her neck. "I thought you'd be more aware of this silly trick, Rebel Applejack," said Ingrid as she pulled Machete closer to her hostage's throat. "I figured it was a matter of time you go after me," said Applejack as she held fast to the trunk of the tree above Ingrid and Twilight. The red laser of a sniper's rifle still floated over her body as a warning for her not to pull any tricks. "I thought you two don't like to get into politics," Applejack continued. "What changed your mind?" "From one farmer to another, we only want to get back what was taken from us." "Applejack," Twilight gagged. "Sugar Cube, don't talk and don't try anything," said Applejack. "I'll get you out of this." "Sugar Cube?" smirked Ingrid. "So that stallion must have left you and you got this mare as a replacement. What was his name again? I suppose you want me to give myself in exchange for Twilight's life. We don't intend to kill her, but surely you don't want your new Sugar Cube to be grievously injured, don't you?" "Well, I can't give myself up or allow you to hurt Twilight. It's complicated, and I don't have time to explain it to the likes of you." "So you two are close?" "Not in that way." The fire finally engulfed the clubhouse, and the smoke began blowing towards Applejack, Ingrid, and Twilight, who now coughed under the noxious fumes. "What's it going to be, Rebel?" said Ingrid. "Make your decision, or we'll all die from smoke inhalation." In that tense moment of hesitation, a sniper bullet struck Applejack on the flank, causing her to fall off the tree and crash into the ground. Ingrid threw Twilight aside and pounced upon the wounded orange mare. "My apologies, Twilight, if that's truly your name," said Ingrid. "You best be running from here. I don't want collateral damage weigh on my conscience." "Let her go," Twilight growled. "That I cannot do. If we don't capture Applejack, my sister and I will not get our farm back. Please don't make me shed any more unnecessary bloodshed." "I said, let her go." A gust of wind had been called forth from the unicorn's being, blowing away all the smoke and fire. The rage within Twilight's heart exposed her horn, and that rage caused her to levitate all of the landmines from the vicinity of the trees. Impossible, Ingrid gasped. You're a unicorn. I won't let any unicorn hunters take any more of my family, Twilight cried, and my friends. Detonating the mines was a simple feat. Imagine pressing your hoof on it and letting go. The entire area rocked itself with explosions that disorientated Ingrid to cause her to flee. However, she was struck down rather painfully by a stun spell before crashing into a tree. From afar, a wheeled truck freely plowed through the trees and slid to a halt with the driver's side facing Twilight. The driver, one Wilhelmina, kicked herself out of the vehicle and immediately fired off her sniper rifle. The bullet screamed towards the unicorn, who suddenly vanished right before it came in contact. Shocked, Wilhelmina spun around, hoping to find the unicorn behind her, but it was too late. Twilight telekinetically threw a rock right into the Earth's mare's face and then shackled her down into the ground with her magenta-colored magic. "What did you do to him?" Twilight demanded. "Who?" "The unicorn you captured. What was his name? What did his destiny glyph look like? I know you two captured him." "I don't remember. It's been years and the government already took him right when we caught him." "How could you not remember? He's a unicorn. A unicorn!" "Please, oh, by the earth, please don't kill me, please." "Sugar Cube, stop!" screamed Applejack. The unicorn felt a strong yet shaken force pulling her away from Wilhelmina's body. From her vantage point of standing, she could see a trickle of blood next to her rear left leg. Finally calming down, she landed back on all fours and turned to see Applejack struggling to stand next to her. "Killing her won't bring your ma and bro back," said Applejack. "But ain't that an ironic reversal? A while ago you tell me not to throw my life away in the name of revenge, but then you go all psych when I get put in danger. Sugar Cube, don't you ever do such a thing again. It scares the hay out of me." "I'm sorry. After all the losses so far, I had to use my magic." "You did what you had to do. Now, as for the infamous unicorn hunters." Wilhelmina, too frightened to run, had backed away towards the tree where her unconscious older sister lay. "Why are you siding with the unicorns, Applejack?" she cried. "A Twilight, no less. Don't you know about the Starswell prophecy? She'll destroy the world." "Starswell prophecy?" said Twilight. "What is she talking about? Gaia believes in the same prophecy?" "It's the reasons why you unicorns had to be hunted to extinction, to prevent the world from being destroyed." "Don't listen to her, Twi," said Applejack. "Tell me," said Twilight, "what does the prophecy state?" "That there will be a unicorn who will betray her own kind. That unicorn shall be a Twilight who will reunite all the elements of creation, and there shall be a Twilight who will bring about the creation of a new world. Applejack, I'm begging you, if this unicorn is the fabled Twilight the Destroyer, you have to kill her now." "Be quiet!" cried Applejack. Thus, she knocked out Wilhelmina with a swift kick in the head.